me take the time out to say a special good morning to everyone who's listening to Classic Radio, everyone who is viewing GBN TV. Let me say good morning to you all. So those of you via our social media platforms, I want to wish you a good day also and all the best. And thanks for taking the time out to tuning to The Point this morning. I'm your host, GT. I'll be with you until it's 10 a.m. on this segment of the conversation this morning. And you know what happens on a Thursday, folks? We do have various departments within the RGPF. And this morning we have the traffic department. We should have had another division joining us this morning. But of course, we also to let you know that they are not here as yet. If they do pop in as we are going through this conversation this morning, we certainly will entertain them. Let me say good morning, of course, to my guest, Inspector Ryan Smith, with us this morning. And, of course, he represents the traffic department. Inspector, good morning, and how are you doing this morning, sir? Good morning.
Pleasant morning to you, GT. I'm doing fine this morning, and also a pleasant morning to the listening and viewing public.
All right. Well, we know, of course, our focus conversation this morning will be on the 2025 Intercall Games that is coming up. And, the arrangements, of course, you being here representing the traffic department, of course, there's going to be issues relating to traffic that the RGPF traffic department will have to manage, if you could say so.
Yes.
Yes. So we're going to spill that bit of information out to the public in terms of letting them know the do's and don'ts in terms of the traffic arrangements, parking, no parking, etc. So I guess I'll get you roll through that as you go along this morning.
Yes. Well, the following traffic arrangement will be in effect for the National Secondary School Games, the National Secondary Intercall School Games, which will take effect on the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th of April 2025. Now, all vehicular traffic entering the National Stadium will use the Queen's Park Ring Road from its intersection with Cherry Hill, or the Humbug Bridge. Some of the roads will be turned into one-way. For example, no entry. Vehicular traffic will not be allowed in the following areas: Old Fort Public Road from its junction with Locust Street, Cemetery Hill from its junction with Church Street, the Ring Road from its junction with Mount Rush Public Road to the direction of the Humbug Bridge. There will be parking areas for the general public, so VVIPs and VIP will park on the concrete area in front of the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Media, police officers and officials of the game will be allowed to park on the grass area to the left side of the concrete area. Now, the general public will be allowed to park in Gate 6, that is in the vicinity of the cricket nets, and also the Wesley College ground. Now there will be also some no parking area. The fish market at Melville Street to the Lacroix Crematorium roundabout, to Cherry Hill. The Queen's Park Public Road from Lacroix Crematorium to Cherry Hill will also be no parking. The Stadium Ring Road will also be no parking. Lacroix Crematorium to L.A. Postal Lumberyard, that is on River Road Public Road, will also be no parking as well. And the lower part of Montrose Public Road will also be no parking as well.
All right. So that's basically the traffic arrangements there for the Intercall Games. And when do the traffic arrangements takes effect? Well,
the traffic arrangement will take effect from 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 a.m.
9 o'clock in the morning and on each day.
On each day.
Yeah.
All right. What is maybe you could speak to the public that relates the importance of adhering to the traffic arrangement. You know, there's always the option when folks feel, well, you know, I could challenge the arrangements, in terms of, what is put out by the traffic department. So what is the importance of adhering and what penalties could derive from individuals who decides, well, I'm not going to pay attention to the arrangement that has been shown out there by the traffic department.
Yeah, it is critical that the general public adhere to the traffic arrangement. Or adhere to the rules, because adhering to those rules will ensure that we have a smooth flow of traffic in and out of the games. Persons who violate will definitely be charged for the offense that they have committed.
Okay. In terms of special conditions, are there any special conditions for especially the dignitaries who may be attending the games, principals and so forth? Are there any conditions that are in terms of the arrangement?
Well, those persons will be outfitted with passes.
Yeah.
Those persons will be outfitted with passes. passes, and they would have special parking areas provided for them.
Okay. What about the students for transportation for the student? Permission will be granted for students coming from the outer parishes, especially who may be using buses and so forth. Are there conditions put out there for them also in terms of knowing where they'll be parking and so forth?
Well, buses that are carrying what we refer to as the athletes will park in the Gate 6 area as well, because the athlete village is close to that area. Also, buses that are dropping out, buses that are staying at the games will park on the left side of the ring road as well.
Okay.
So this is the area that we provide for those buses. Also, at the conclusion of the games, though, we are asking buses that are not on hire or chartered should remain at the bus terminus. Remain at the bus terminus, and the patrons will find you there. Because once those buses come into the vicinity of the National Stadium, they will cause more obstruction, and the traffic will not flow that smoothly.
Try to alleviate the congestion.
Try to alleviate the congestion. So the persons will find you at the bus terminus. Because it will be difficult to manage two bus terminals at the same time.
All right.
So we want persons to remain there.
All right. Are we going to see a strong police presence at the games this time around?
Of course, police will be at strategic location to ensure that the traffic flows smoothly and to ensure that persons definitely adhere to the rules.
All right. Let's talk a wee bit about the general safety of individuals at the games. I know it's not one of the topics you came to talk about, but I'm sure you could have fill us in that. In terms of road users, the do's and don'ts, of course, at the games, what are some of the information you'd like to share in relation to that this morning?
Well, in terms of security, it's school events, so no alcohol will be sold. Also, those persons that are actually vending in and around the vicinity of the stadium wouldn't be allowed to sell alcohol as well. Be allowed to sell alcohol as well. We are also asking persons who are carrying apparatus that has the potential to be used as a weapon. Should be left at home. For example, geometry sets and so on.
Yes.
Would not be allowed into the stadium. Combs and so on will not be allowed into the stadium.
All right. I mean, over the years, we always know of a process where, of course, sometimes folks may feel or look at this a little bit inhumane in terms of such students going inside and stuff, So there are a lot of parents are concerned in relation to that. But I understand the reason why the police would want to do that. Folks would take the opportunity, feel, well, it's a children's game or students' game, so maybe I could go in pretending to be a student and have different apparatus on them. I mean, is there any warning you want to put out to that to let them know that the police will be high alert in terms of anyone who come to have this kind of disruptive nature once attending these games?
Yes, the police will be in high alert. There will be also police officers in civilian clothing, clothing as well. The RRU will be there as well, and we also asking persons who have already left school not to dress in school uniform and try to enter the area where the students are. We know that happened over the years, person dressing in full uniform who have already left school, so will be the police officers at the gates will be looking out for those persons. All
right. So certainly those are some of the concerns there. Any other concerns you would like to pinpoint before we take her up for this segment of the conversation this morning? Any other concerns you would like to?
Well, in terms of the emergency route, the emergency route from the National Stadium will be Queen's Park Public Road, Cemetery Hill, Old Fort Public Road, Lucas Street, and on to Granitang Road and to the General Hospital.
All right. And I'm assuming you're asking, of course, other road users, especially the motoring, to make sure that these roads remain...
Make sure that these roads remain clear and persons don't park in those areas to create them bottlenecks.
All right. This is a shortened version, of course, Inspector Ryan being on the program with me this morning. Of course, he was just here to speak about the traffic arenas, more or less. So we're going to, of course, Inspector Ryan, I want to thank you a whole lot for sharing, and I certainly hope that the listeners listening and viewing public, especially the motorists, adhere to the parking arrangements which come for the games, and certainly hope that we have a flow, I should say.
Smooth flow
of things on the day of the events. All right, I want to thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you very much, GT, for having me.
All right, sure. We'll take a break when we come back, folks. In the next segment, we're going to have an open line segment, folks. For those who are listeners and viewers, you could actually call in and let's have a conversation as we move along this morning. Stay with us. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV.
Get ready, Grenada. The Maggie King of the Grill is back and bigger than ever. On Saturday, June 7th, Monroe's playing field transforms into the ultimate battleground for grill masters. Think you got what it takes? Then fire up those grills and show your skills. Registration closes Friday, April the 11th. So don't miss your chance to compete for that sizzling prize and bragging rights. It's food, fun, and flavor, all powered by Maggie. To register, call 407-8458. Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules. See you
this April 5th and 6th. The Grenada Motor Club will be hosting its first invitational drag racing event for 2025 at Pearls International Speedway. Expect an action-packed weekend from a few of the Caribbean's fastest drag cars. Friday, April 4th, meet and greet at Lavo Lanes. Saturday, April 5th, test and tune and bracket race qualifiers. Sunday, April 6th, drag race finals at Pearls International Speedway. There will be a special guest appearance by one of the Caribbean's top drag racers and a special drift performance by a few of the Caribbean's top drifters. Mark the dates because April 5th and 6th, Pearls International Speedway is the place to be.
GBN presents the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, Saturday, June 7th, Monrouge Playing Field from 11 a.m. Our partners, Maggie, the secret of great flavor, Grenada Distillers Limited, makers of Clark's Court, Grenada's #1 rum, Grenada Paper Products, makers of Cherish, Spring Soft, Harbour Bay, and Super Value Toilet Paper, and Royal, Quick and Easy, and Horizon Paper Towels, Budget Foods Inc., Classic Lighting, and Blue Bubbles PA Rental and Event Supplies. It's the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio and GBN TV. Of course, I want to thank Inspector Ryan Smith. Of course, had to make an early run for it this morning here on the program due to, of course, circumstances. We should have had another guest coming to talk about other aspects of the intercall games that are coming up, but they did not show up. So, which leaves us having an open line in this segment, folks. Which means you listeners and viewers, you have the option of calling in. Let's hear from you this morning in this segment. I have no particular subject matter that I would like us to speak about, which leaves up to you as an individual. If you want to talk about intercall games, feel free to do so, or any other subject matter that is of relevance. Let's speak about it. Let's go to the phone line, get our first caller via the WhatsApp. Caller, you're live. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Mr. Telesford.
Good morning to you, sir.
I call again in reference to the situation with a drain in River Road down by the first and last shop, part of the project with the River Road project. This situation has been there now for 2 years. The drain is clogged up, mosquitoes boxing people left, right, and center. Whole day I had to be lighting coil and thing here. I would like, if you have the responsibility, that you can ask the Minister of Health, the Minister of Communication and Works, or whoever it is, to rectify the situation, to come and look to see what is happening with that thing down there. If they keep waiting, an epidemic of great proportion will break out here in River Road. Glen, I know you live in River Road. This is Roland Pin speaking.
All right.
So one of these.
Well, have you tried speaking to anyone else in authority? That have you gone out to the particular ministry involved, the Solid Waste Management Authority and so forth, to have a conversation with them in reference to having that problem rectified? Have you ever tried that direction?
Well, I have not done that. The lady responsible on the NBC side came. They looked at it. They brought some men with some wheelbarrow and some spade and think they spade up something, but that is not the problem. Mm-hmm. The problem to rectify the situation, the road has to be cut. The culverts, whatever is blocking the culverts, has to be removed and the road relaid. That is what has to be done.
All right.
Because
I guess that goes even further with the Ministry of Works and so forth.
The whole community talking about this mosquito situation. So they're waiting for epidemic, some kind of thing to break out, and then they will come to try to rectify the situation.
All right. Well, I certainly hope someone in authority is listening to your complaint this morning and they'll take the relative action to have that rectified, because it's not the kind of situation one wants to be living in. You understand? And I certainly do understand where you come from.
We had to light coil in the morning, had to light coil whole day, whole night. Mosquito boxing me, my face, they biting me, all kind of thing.
All right.
We planning to block the road, if they're not block the road, so maybe we could get some attention. The police will come and then they'll understand what is happening, and then the relevant authorities will come in and see and rectify the situation. Right. But this is 2 years now. This thing is happening 2 years.
It may not be the best suggestion to block the road, but is having a conversation with the relative individuals responsible to have this rectified. And I certainly hope someone is listening this morning, and they will certainly look into the matter for you. Thanks for calling.
You're most welcome.
All right. 435-2041, 435-2041. The lines are opened. Let's hear from you this morning. And usually have the RGPF with us this morning on the program on Thursdays. And, of course, had a shortened version of them this morning. Just spoke about the traffic arena. We had Inspector Rand with us this morning. So the lines are open. Let's hear from you, listeners and viewers out there. If there's any issues that you may like to speak about, or you may, of course, want to have a conversation or something that is of importance to you, and you want to speak about that, feel free. We do have a caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning, GT.
Good morning to you, sir.
Just briefly on the River Road situation,
Yeah.
That caller should say that the Chief Environmental Health Officer himself, Mr. Kenneth Hazard, paid a visit there.
Yes.
So to give the impression that no one has done so, it is disingenuous. And I am Kevin Frederick, Senior Health Promotion, Communication and PR Officer for the Ministry of Health. And I am saying that publicly, the caller is not being genuine,
right,
with respect to a visit from the Public Health Authority, because the Chief Environmental Health Officer, and I think GP, he had spoken to either you or Innocent sometime back, about 2 weeks ago, on that very said issue. So it is not as if the issue is not being attended to, but these things will take some time, because you have, and he said it.
But, caller, you have to understand that the discomfort also that the individuals are going through in the area.
We understand that. Yes. But, GT, they also have to understand, that the Ministry of Health cannot just go and break a road or break a drain.
That is understandable also.
Yeah, right, yeah. So to talk about blocking the road and so on.
I mean, as I said, it's not something I will recommend that they do.
Right, but hold on. They also need to ascertain where the mosquito is breeding from. The mosquitoes can also be breeding from further distances as well as closer distances. Because not every block drain. Mosquitoes do not like dirty water. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Yeah? Mosquitoes don't lay eggs in dirty water. Yeah? So I am not saying that is the case, but I'm saying they also need to ascertain if it is only the drain that is the source. However, that's not what I will call about.
All right.
I call about in observation of the 50th anniversary of independence, government spent quite a lot of money to clean up and beautify. And if GBN can take a pass going up the Boucher Brisbane side, a lot of people are indiscriminately just dumping, debris and so on, construction debris. They went back and this morning again I saw some galvanized and some old wood and so on. They even hurt. And what is even disheartening, derelict vehicles. They start back to dump derelict vehicles along that pathway. And it is an eyesore. It is also going to cause breeding of rodents. And then someone will call and say, the Ministry of Health needs to do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. We cannot continue with that kind of approach because it is taxpayers' money that is spending to do all of that. And these things can be avoided if we just work together and do the sensible thing. The question is, how far is the Perseverance landfill from Brizan? And this is something that people in general should be looking at, because health is everyone's business. It's not just the Ministry of Health. It is not just an MP. It is not just the government of Grenada. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your contribution, too. Thank you a whole lot. Hey, folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, of course, one of my guests who should have been in the previous segment is here. So, of course, let's get him all settled in. And when we come back, we continue the conversation. Stay with us. Classic Radio, GBN TV. We'll be right back.
Tracksuit, water bottle, sneakers. It's time. Let's get ready to join us on the road this year for Quad Bank's annual Pump It Up Family Fun Walk. Tell your family and friends, and let's get moving towards a healthier lifestyle. Carry a coup. Come out in your numbers on Sunday, April 6th from 4 p.m. as we pump it up from Alexis Food Store's car park to the Hillsborough Tennis Court. On Sunday, May 4th, the action is on the mainland. We're hitting the road at 4 p.m. from Monrouge Playing Field to the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Registration ends on May 2nd or while stocks last. So get your packages today. Individual packages cost $20. For groups of 3 or more, packages cost $15 each. Proceeds go towards the Princess Royal Hospital in Carriacou. Visit our website for more details. See you on the road for Welcome Home.
Grenada, get ready for the most anticipated kids event on Saturday, 19th April, Easter Saturday.
They not like us.
It's the Easter Kids Extravaganza.
Easter Kids Extravaganza.
Monrouge Playing Field, 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Enjoy rides, slides, obstacle courses, rock climb, bouncy castle, go-kart, and much, much more.
Mom, I love this.
Then from 6 p.m. we move stateside for special performances. Come see the mind-blowing illusions and mesmerizing dancers from the overseas acts. Soca performances from Guana, Shekwan, Black Barbie, and Young Man. Admission kids only $5, adults $10. Parents, guardians, get the kids ready. Easter Saturday, Monrouge Playing Field. Something no kid wanna miss. It's the Easter Kids Extravaganza.
Welcome back to our listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's to the point here on Classic Radio GBN TV. I'm joined by Superintendent Holli, Mr. Holli George, with us this morning here on the program. Of course, so we'll continue on that particular leg that we usually do on a Thursday here on the program. Superintendent, good morning once again, and welcome.
Thank you. Good morning to you and the listening public.
All right. Our conversation base, of course, we had an inspector, of course, Ryan Smith with us previously, and he spoke a whole lot about the traffic arrangements. I guess we will not go too much in details in relation to that. So we're going to speak a whole lot now about the security arrangements which for the upcoming intercall games. Tell us in relation to that as we continue. The security arrangement, what are we to look forward to in terms of all attendees at the games in terms of the security arrangements? Okay.
The RGPF... in collaboration with the GAP, Grenada, the principals that form the community to run the games. we are working along with them, and we have organized our security arrangements for the games, which involves about 50 private security officers and a large contingent of police officers. So expect to see, when you come to the games, a heavy presence of security officers. On entrance, patrons entering the games at the various gates, you will be met by the private security and officers. There you will be screened before entering the games. The focus is heavily on preventing persons entering the games with prohibited items. That being what we normally refer to as offensive weapons like knives, cutlass, scissors, ice picks, and things of that sort. But what we've seen in the past, especially dealing with the secondary school children who normally goes to the bleachers, that's where they would be situated, on the bleachers. We've seen them coming with things like geometry sets, coming with school bags, and items like combs, afro combs, and fingernail files, and things of that nature. I want to appeal to the students. Do not come to the games with your school bag and those things on them. You're not going to school on that day. You're coming to support your school or your athletes, and you should do so without creating hindrances for the security.
All right. So those are some of the security aspects we're looking for. Let's talk about safety in general for children at the games. What are some of the measures that folks should adhere to, especially if you're going to speak to folks attending, the safety measures that we put in place, especially for children at the games?
Well, the safety measures for the children at the games, we've had issues in the past with the children. I'm speaking to the school children, throwing bottles, especially during intermission time, filling it with water and that sort of a thing. We would have heavy presence in and among the students on the bleachers. We would also have some security within the bathroom areas, because that's where they go to field, and we'll be policing that very heavily. We also have a command post where we have reserve officers, and we have officers at the various levels. The stadium has 4 levels, so we have officers at every level. We have officers that are detailed to deal with children if they get lost, or if persons have incidents or issues, we direct them to the command post. So there would be officers everywhere addressing issues as they arise.
Okay, great. Now, there's always those do's and don'ts concerns that the RGP will have, especially at the game. What are those important do's and don'ts that you will, of course, would like to adhere to?
Yeah. Well, the patrons are coming to the games to enjoy the games, to support your alma mater, to support your athletes, your family, what have you. So we do not expect you to come as though you come in prepared for some sort of a fight. This is not an environment for that, and we don't want that within Grenada for that matter. So you should not come with offensive weapons. You should not come. This is a school activity, though it has grown exponentially and become a national event, widely recognized. We believe this standard of security, and we do not want people coming with alcohol. Do not come with drugs. Do not come with firearm, whether licensed or unlicensed. Do not come with breakable bottles, things of that sort. You're allowed to come with your cooler with some drinks, but it should not have breakable bottles, neither alcohol. No alcohol would be sold at the games. And I could speak to a little bit about vending here as beyond that. There are a number of persons out there who take the opportunity to to vend at such events. There will be no vending, strictly no vending around the stadium. The area allocated for vending is on the seaside from the Green Ridge back to the Lacroix crematorium. And that seaside area there, that's allocated for vending, but no vending after you pass the Green Bridge going up to Cherry Hill, the Ring Road area, strictly no vending, and that would be heavily enforced, all right, because that's where some of the issues lie with the glass bottles. Yeah, they sell their drinks in glass bottles, and so we're trying to prevent and minimize possible incidents that could come out or occur from those things. And then,
right. What about concerns in terms of, or maybe warnings you would like to put out now that especially for vendors who sell alcohol to students who will be attending the game, or children in particular, especially at that particular vending zone, is no one should be allowed to sell alcohol to children or school children per se?
Well, yeah, that's
especially
the law.
in school uniform.
Yes, that's the law. People who sell alcohol, once you have a license, you must be aware that what the regulation says with regards to selling alcohol to minors. That's a no-no. And that's an area we seriously need to, on a broader level, enforce, because it's not just relative to the intercourt games. We've seen what the situation is within Grenada with the consumption of alcohol, and younger boys and girls are getting involved in the use of alcohol. Where they getting it from? They purchasing it from the stores. So we want to appeal to the vendors and in a broader sense, people who sell alcohol, to pay particular attention to that law, that you should not sell alcohol to minors. But we'll be very firm on that and on the 3 days of intercourt. And to come to sell alcohol in the designated area, you must have a license. Right. Whether it's temporary or otherwise, you must have a license to sell alcohol.
I wanted to speak a wee bit on past concerns that you may have shown up at intercourt games that you will be putting a lot of emphasis on this time around, in terms of past concerns that may have taken place that you have to be limited tolerance on that this time around.
Yes. I want to appeal to past students that are coming to the games. Do not try to pull wool over the security eyes. Yes, we understand the euphoria and excitement, and you're relating to your school, but there are people who deliberately try to put wool over the security eyes by coming in their school uniform. Especially the younger ones. They put on the school one. They left school 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 3 years ago.
Still look like 16.
And you're right. And they coming and try to pass as a student to get into the games. That's a no-no. We have identified that. Again, do not come with anything offensive weapon. Persons who usually smoke, I would advise that you stay outside if you want to smoke. Position yourself where you probably could see, but remain outside, because the stadium no smoking zone. Those that people smoke different things, marijuana, that's still illegal. Do not attempt to and come. We'll be screening very heavily at the points of entry. All right. So no forms of drugs except your medication. No forms of glass bottles. You can't come with your cooler. It should be nothing bigger than about 2 feet that could stay in the seat in front of you. So that's what would be allowed. The cooler is about 2 feet, and you can have your drinks and you eat what have you.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Superintendent, we drew for a break. Let's take that break. When we come back, folks, we continue the conversation. It's Classic Radio GBN TV. Don't touch your dial. We will be right back after the short break.
ready, Grenada? The Maggie King of the Grill is back and bigger than ever. On Saturday, June 7th, Monroe's playing field transforms into the ultimate battleground for grill masters. Think you got what it takes? Then fire up those grills and show your skills. Registration closes Friday, April the 11th, so don't miss your chance to compete for that sizzling prize and bragging rights. It's food, fun, and flavor, all powered by Maggie. To register, call 407-8458. Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules. See you there.
GBN presents the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, Saturday, June 7th, Monrouge playing field from 11 a.m. Our partners, Maggie, the secret of great flavor, Grenada Distillers Limited, makers of Clark's Court, Grenada's #1 rum, Grenada Paper Products, makers of Cherish, Spring Soft, Hammer Bay, and Super Value Toilet Paper, and Royal, Quick and Easy, and Horizon Paper Towels, Budget Foods Inc., Classic Lighting, and Blue Bubbles PA Rental and Event Supplies. It's the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules.
Coming up on Caribbean Passport TV, it is the Caribbean's newest road running event with a unique twist. Famous landmarks, ocean and eco activities. St. Lucia has it all. What are the don'ts when it comes to posting on social media? Next gen chefs, comfy accommodation. It's all next on this station.
GBN family, we've got a brand new home on Facebook and you need to be there. Follow us now on Facebook at Grenada Broadcasting Network -GBN. Stay updated with the latest news, sports, entertainment, and everything Grenada. Don't miss out. Like, follow, and share. Grenada Broadcasting Network. Stay informed, stay ahead. First with the news, fast with the updates.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV. With me this morning, we have Superintendent, it's Holli George, right? Holli George with us this morning here on the program. Superintendent, let's continue the conversation this morning. We're still speaking about, of course, the inter-corps games coming up. In a previous conversation, we spoke about the security arrangements. We spoke about the safety, the overall safety of children that the folks should adhere to. The general safety in terms of the do and don'ts at the events. I want to speak about, after the events, there's always a lot of issue that tends to show its face after the events. Now, let's talk about the folks who, when the event is over, the loitering aspects and so forth, with students may decide they want to walk downtown St. George, and just and be just loitering around. What is the police plan on doing in terms of that, especially after the sporting event? After the both days of the events, I would say.
Our operation plan is twofold. To police at the stadium and also to police within the town of St. George, especially the bus terminus area. So we have an after-action plan at the end of the games because of what we've seen in the past. And might I add, last year and the year before, it went rather smoothly. Yeah. We've had the cooperation of, for the greater part of it, of the patrons coming from the games. And so we expect nothing less this time around. But we will have a heavy presence of officers within the town along the bus terminus area, because that's where most of the commuting will be done. Though the athletes will... The athletes village, which is at the back of the cricket stadium, gate 6, is where the buses that bring the athletes would be positioned. So they would be picked up there, but patrons would have to make their way to the bus terminus to be picked up and and become muted.
Right.
So we're soliciting the cooperation of all. We expect large crowds and a heavy volume of people. I believe we have the support of the motoring public, the bus associations. They will come out in their numbers because it's an opportunity for them to be able to move people effectively and efficiently out of the bus terminus area. Let me add here that loitering is an offense. So if we observe that there's issues of loitering, we will be dealing with very forthrightly.
All right. So that's that caution going on there, especially to folks after the game, to the students and folks. More of those are the ones who may just come to view it.
Yes.
They may not be participating as an athlete or anything, but they come to view. So after the games, you're urged to just go get your bus and go home.
Yes.
And I mean, it also could be directed to parents to also speak to their sons and daughters in relation to that also. In terms of, after the games, these are the things that you do, which also will help to alleviate them, or a time factor. Well, after the games, you have at least 30 minutes or an hour to get home, depending on your location.
Yes. We appeal to parents here to speak to your children in that regard. As I said, last year, it went fairly well. Because previous years, I'm not talking about last year and the year before, what we observed there was a situation where children were getting home all 1 and 2 in the morning after the games. Yeah, because of difficulties.
I remember those years they had issues relation to that also.
Yes. But I think we were able to work along with the stakeholders and, as I said, the bus association to support so that we can move patrons out of the terminus area and safely home. All right.
I want you to speak in relation to the respect to authority, especially for the students who may be attending and so forth. Even other individuals going to be at the games. Respect to authority, especially when it comes to teachers and principals, security officers, the police themselves. Respect to authority. Well, what you would like to say in reference to that, sir?
Well, the officers and the principals and the teachers, we are the custodians in terms of organizing the games. And so different direction instructions will be given so that we can have a safe, incident-free games. So I'm appealing to everyone to follow the direction given by the security. The children from the various schools follow the instructions given by your principal and your teachers. All right. That would help in alleviating issues so that we can have a smooth and incident-free games. Because this, as I said, has gone more or less international. We have the diaspora eagerly watching the games when it's going on. It would be broadcast live. I saw some information recently. The government of Grenada has now taken on sponsorship, and they indicated that there will be free viewing for 3 days. They was going to broadcast this thing live internationally. So it's not as in years gone by. It has gone global, more or less.
Yeah.
So
it's not just a Grenada thing anymore.
Yes. So it will be viewed internationally. Let's give them the best Grenadian type show, incident-free, and to show that we are on top of things and we can manage our incidents and events effectively and efficiently.
All right. I want you to speak about the aspect of, the anti-violence education aspect of this. Because, sometimes the rivalry that will take place among the various schools and so forth, sometimes individuals get a little overheated in terms of it's depending on the particular events that will take place and so forth. I want you to speak to them, to especially the students. Well, they may be at school now, so we don't hear it. I guess the opportunity that parents and so forth are listening will also, re-emphasize this onto their sons and daughters. But the anti-violence education aspect of the games. Let's hear from you from the RGPF as it relates to that.
Yes. We have been in the schools quite often recently because we observed that there were incidents of of violence emanating from the school. So we've put in a lot of presence there. The whole issue of bullying and so on. So we want to appeal to the young men and young women. That is not the way to go. We are a fun-loving, peaceful type society. Grenada is relatively stable, peaceful. So bullying is a negative thing. It affects people emotionally and sometimes can lead to issues or incidents where young people take their life. So we are appealing to you to stop that kind of conduct. You've coming to the Intercall to support the athletes. Intercall is an event, and at least that's the way I see it, where our budding athletes that could make it onto the international stage, that's the platform that is used really. So you're coming to give support to that. We all are glued to our TVs when we see Kirani running and one of our artists out there performing well on the international scene. Most of them started there. I remember the days when Kirani was in the call and the competition, and we all came to cheer. Yeah. So this is what this is about. Let's promote the positivity of all of this and leave in the negative and the violence out of it. There's no need for us to be violent coming to Intercall. It's a time where you come and you support and you wave and you jump and you encourage and that sort of a thing. So I want to appeal to parents, talk to your children. And that's one of the things. We have issues with the parenting aspect of it. Parents need to pay closer attention to the children and engage and seek help for them. So I'm appealing here to all, not only the children, because we do have groups that have beef. The Intercall Games is not the place to come and cook your beef, to put it that way. All right? We will be very firm against issues of that nature.
All right. So I'm going to say we are expecting a zero tolerance approach towards individuals who will be attending the games and want to portray those sort of behaviors.
Yes, that's why we have overwhelming security. 50 private security officers, over 60 officers from the RGPF would be present. So we will be dominating the space, and so that the intention is that we have an incident-free activity. So zero tolerance to offensive weapon and to conduct of any kind that can impede or affect the games.
All right. Hey, folks, in this segment, we just have a couple more minutes left on today's program. You listeners and viewers out there, if you do have a question or two, you may as relating to the, of course, Intercall games, you may like to ask the superintendent, feel free to do so in the segment 435-2041. You have also the option of the WhatsApp. You can send your messages via that, or you can call via the WhatsApp if you choose to, or you can call via the direct line 435-2041. We see, I'm seeing a message here from someone via the WhatsApp is asking the question. They asking the question, or ask one question is subject to take a different angle in this one. But if individual is asking a question in relation to this, metal detectors, there will be any of that at the stadium in terms of representing the individuals coming into the stadium with that? Would that be something that will be put in place this time around?
Yes, our security uses different levels of such. So metal detectors, is one part of that.
All right.
It will be screening heavily to prevent articles and implements. So yes, metal detectors is part of our security apparatus.
As you await the calls coming in, anything that you would like to re-emphasize, of course, in relation to the games that maybe may have missed a bit this morning?
I can't think of anything that I missed.
Because we have covered a lot of ground in relation to it already.
Additionally, we will have eyes in the sky. So it's not just a matter of the security on the ground, but we'll be looking at things from above as well to ensure that we have maximum coverage and to prevent incidents of any kind, or to pick up on things in a timely way so that we can address it as they occur or before they occur.
All right. 435-2041, that's the number if you want to ask the superintendent any question related to our conversation this morning here in terms of the security aspect, the traffic arrangement and so forth that we spoke about in relation to the intercall games. If you do have any question in relation to that, you can do so. Let's take a short break. So when we come back, we will open the lines once again and see if anyone is, of course, have a question or two they may like to ask. Then we also get some closing contributions from you when we come back. Stay with us. To the Point here, Classic Radio. We will be right back. Don't touch it out.
This April 5th and 6th, the Grenada Motor Club will be hosting its first invitational drag racing event for 2025 at Pearls International Speedway. Expect an action-packed weekend from a few of the Caribbean's fastest drag cars. Friday, April 4th, meet and greet at Lavo Lanes. Saturday, April 5th, test and tune and bracket race qualifiers. Sunday, April 6th, drag race finals at Pearls International Speedway. There will be a special guest appearance by one of the Caribbean's top drag racers and a special drip performance by a few of the Caribbean's top drifters. Mark the dates because April 5th and 6th, Pearls International Speedway is the place to be.
It's legacy, a beat that don't stop like Bob Marley said. One love on top, DCH water out of sight, but it's always wrong, don't lose the light. From factories and wells so deep, corals, mangroves and fish they weep. Green water for the garden, keep it green. Save the cash and the earth gets clean. We use the water with a mindful mind. It's out of sight but never far behind. In nature, the answers always flow. Like water running pure, the cycle grows. It renews itself, same drop, same beat. It's all good, man, you got the heat. Water flow. No clean water, no vibes they grow. Protect our water, protect our future.
Time to go.
Grenada, get ready for a fantastic opportunity as the Grenada Cultural Foundation presents a logo design competition. So we're asking the general public to submit a creative and impactful logo to identify with the foundation's new brand, using its vision and mission as a guide to become Grenada's premier institute for researching, documenting, and promoting Grenada's culture. Mission to be the gateway to cultural empowerment to Grenada's cultural practitioners. The winning logo will be announced on Wednesday, April 30th, 2025, and the winner will be awarded $1,500. All entries should be forwarded via the following email address: gcfgrenada@gmail.com, and should be received no later than 12 midnight on Tuesday, April 15th.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV. I did offer the opportunity for listeners and viewers, if you do have a question or two that you may like to ask for the superintendent. We don't see much calls coming, so I'm assuming everyone do understand the process that, of course, that they have to go through in terms of visiting the games, the security arrangement, the traffic arrangement, and so forth. So, Superintendent, I'm going to ask you, of course, if you want to make some closing comments, but let's see someone is calling. Let's see if we can entertain that call, because before we take a wrap. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning to the officer.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yeah. For my short little listen there is like in the car when we talk about the games, right? And is that dangerous to have our kids in one place? I mean, the kids are so badly off that we need to follow all these police measures to deal with those kids. I don't see you policing it Sokomonak like that or even Juve. You know, so our kids are bad. We have so much of bad parents in Canada that we have to put all these measures to protect our kids or keep them in line. That's how we reach right now. Our kids are so dangerous. It's kind of shocking and alarming.
All right, caller. Thank you. I don't think we should theme it in that particular way that things are that bad. I don't know how you take from what they call of it, but from my point of view, it's just for the overall safety at the event. I would think about that in that way.
Yes, this is for the overall safety. As I said, this is more or less become an international sort of event. It has nothing to do with the kids being bad. I think that's your perception from what you're hearing with respect to the security arrangement. No, we've had incidents where the kids full water bottles with water and throw it, and we've had where kids got injured in the past. Intercall go way back. I remember the days as a young boy where the bleachers used to be broken. They jump on the bleachers until they break.
I guess we have better structures now anyway.
Yeah, we have better structures now. But we're trying to prevent incidents. And so you must have a presence to prevent. So it has nothing to do with kids being so bad.
All right. Well, it's already just about a minute to go before 10 o'clock. Superintendent, anything in closing before we take a wrap today? Any final word before we take a wrap?
I'd like to say Intergol 2025, the security arrangements are in place. The planning committee has done the work, and I think they're quite ready. What I understand recently is that this thing has grown exponentially. Most of the tickets, if not all, has been sold out. They have tickets online. So if you come in to the games, you have to try and make it in a timely manner, because what I saw last year was that tickets were sold out and people were not able to get into the venue because the venue can only hold so much people. There will be tickets sold on the entrance and on the bleachers side. So there are 2 points of ticket. When you come from the Green Bridge and you come down the step, there will be tickets sold in that area. There will be a ticket booked. And when you enter from the Ring Road side, there would be an area there selling tickets. So try and make it to the games in a timely way so that you can be accommodated. Cooperate with the security. We're not there to hinder anything. We're just there to prevent any incident that could make us look bad as a country. We want the event to be incident-free so that we can promote Grenada in a very positive light. Because as you know, we have a stadium and we're also looking at sports tourism. So where we invite groups from outside to come in and utilize the stadium for training, etc., to engage with our athletes and so on. And we do have some very promising young athletes. I heard the timings are very good, and they're going up to character soon. And so we want to support all of that. So it's all Grenada, and positively.
All right. We should see some competitive, of course, timings or so forth this year. So the competition should be keen.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. That is anticipated.
Of course. So Superintendent Holli George, I want to thank you once again for coming on the program this morning. A little late in your start and arrival, but of course, better be here than never at all.
Yes.
So I want to thank you once again. I want to thank our listeners and, of course, our viewers who followed us this morning here, contributed some way or the other via our To The Point program. Thank you so much. Join me again tomorrow, once your money permits, for another edition. Have yourself a good one, folks. That's what we say goodbye.